So depending on where people are vibrating, depending on where they're putting their focus, will ultimately determine if they go into the positive earth, where we do have first contact with the benevolent races who are going to welcome us into the galactic community as we become a spacefaring society. Because within the private sector, we're already a spacefaring society, where we've reached the level status of type 2 society. We skipped type 1 and we went all the way to type 2, where now we're like harnessing energy from stars through a technology known as the Dyson sphere. Well, all that stuff is being implemented by these breakaway groups. So on a positive trajectory, they're trying to bring that information, that disclosure to us so that we could have the technology as well. So it all depends. But
if
yeah,
you
positive extraterrestrials don't just land. They don't just openly show up, because they do abide by a galactic, what is called the prime directive of the galaxy. They don't just openly show up. They're going to be violating protocol if they did. So that's why they have to do it in a nonchalant, very gradual, covert way. And that explains why they are the star people down here, right? All the star people uh, that believe that they're not from this world. A
Yep.
lot of the star beings are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. A lot of the first and second wavers are woken up. You know,
That's an interesting perspective, isn't it? Because through the transgender and the LGBT whole thing, there's no space there for someone who believes themselves to identify as a starseed. And perhaps that's another area altogether. But it's interesting, though, that the spiritual people in that regard don't look to identify themselves as somebody different and therefore engage in the politics of division. That seems to be trivial to people who see a greater, much greater universal community, not just here on Earth. Ishmael, if we talk about just briefly the energy harnessing you said through the stars, the politicians that are obsessed with green energy and climate change and renewables and all these things that don't seem to work, are these people simply just playing their role and are being limited by their imagination, their scope to ask the bigger questions, such as the research that you and many others are doing?
yeah, they're just playing the role. They don't want people to understand that they do have the technology that we need, that will put an end to their petrochemical pharmaceutical companies, which are multi-billion-dollar industries. And I believe that that was the reason why Eisenhower, not Eisenhower, but many of the presidents um, after Eisenhower was actually, good. He actually wanted to um, he wanted to bring about this advanced technology, but unfortunately, because of what Truman did, the president before him, they couldn't. At that point, the U.S. corporation, right, the government, the corporate America was already sold out to the Greys, the Zetas, and the Draconians or the Reptilians, and so unfortunately, it didn't happen. But yeah, they don't want this technology to come out to the public. They don't want 0 point energy. They don't want replicators, because if everyone had a replicator, that would end the economy. Who would want to work when you could just, it's like 3D on steroids, where you could just print out your house, your car, a piece of chocolate cake, anything you want within seconds, boom, right there. It's an advanced technology that is actually tapped into 0 point, 0 point energy, where you can manifest anything you want.